Hello and welcome to Flippin Through, the internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. Today I am reviewing Mad Magazine number 388. Came out December 1999. Price $2.95, which is indeed cheap. And so here we have now Y2K compliant. What is Y2K? Y2K stands for the year 2000. K being a very popular way of representing 1000, probably because of the metric system. That's my guess. It's really difficult to explain the significance of Y2K if you did not live through Y2K. It's like explaining Beanie Babies or explaining like the Daniel, what is that? The Daniel Boone, the coonskin cap that was like super popular in the 50s. Or I don't know. Like if you didn't live through it, it's hard to understand. First off, why it was so significant, and two, how significant it was. Unlike things like, I don't know, 9/11, right? It's easy to understand why that was so significant. Thousands of people died. An attack on civilians in the United States like that had never happened before. So it's very clear, like, oh, that's a big deal. Oh, we are switching from the year 1999 into the year 2000, and everybody was freaking out that every electronic that they owned would stop working and crash, and the economy would fail, and even like water systems would stop producing safe water. Like, it was near pandemonium. But anyway, I don't know who did this cover. I'm sure we'll find out when we look inside. But it's hard, like, it just looks dumb unless you know what Y2K was and what everybody was worried about. But I do like this with the clear image on the computer and the digitized, pixelized image of Alfred E. Neuman. I just like it. I think it's like visually pleasing. I mean, this is like, honestly, if you like take that banner out and that, you're walking the line of art. That's what I'm saying. High art. You're walking that line. Oh my goodness. Subscribe to Mad. Be dumb, all you faithful. Alfred E. Neuman keychain. How many of these things have survived? That's what I'm wondering. Here we have the vital features. They don't call it that, though. This is Monroe. So what's his face is the artist. I know who it is. I'm not going to say it because I forget. Bill Ray, that's who it is. Paul Coker Jr. I'm going to say Angelo on this one. Here we go. The front cover artist is Scott Breaker. Front cover writer, Peter Kruper. Interesting. All right. Then a nice little PC Vey comic right there. Me? Thought you knew. Oh, I love that. That's wonderful. And here we go. Some advertisements. So this was like an additional reprinting of the original comics. You might recall in the 1970s or 80s, I forget, they had the super specials, and in the super special, like sewn in, or like, I don't know how they attached them, you would find a small copy of the comic version of Mad, and it was comic sized, which is pretty cool. But I understand that they left some material out. It wasn't like a full facsimile edition, but it had the greatest hits from the issue. So anyway, they were reprinting these in magazine size, the original issues, and so the original comic issues, and they were fantastic. It was the first time when I was reading through, like, that was my exposure to the original Mad, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful stuff. Then coming next month, the 20 Dumbest, and another Mad XL. Mad XL was another cool one, and what they would do, I think it was on Mad XL, they would have either a writer or an artist that they would focus on. And I mean, I think I said this before. I think it would be cool to have, as we continue to recycle material, to do that with the regular issues, to say, hey, this is a Paul Coker Jr. issue, and we're going to put out the best stuff that he has. Listen, I don't know if you can hear that, but that's my cat screaming in the background. I don't know what to say about it, except I'm sorry. And she's out of control, and she's like 15 years old, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I apologize. This cat knocks over the garbage can. It'll infiltrate the cupboard, pull the garbage can out, knock it over, and then eat chicken bones. I mean, I think she's on her way out for sure. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep plowing through some of this. Look at that, MAD grads, 1999. Some MAD fold-ins. Well, that's the Spice Girls, I think. Oh, here we go. This this is very good. MAD celebrity snaps. Duke Berkowitz of Grand Rapids, North Dakota, comes up with a winner this month as he finds famous Chicago Bulls superstar and basketball legend Michael Jordan during his vacation at Carlsbad Caverns. Congratulations, Ryan. Your free 3-year MAD subscription is on its way. Oh my gosh. This can only work once, right? I mean, that's awesome. I love that. How can you not reward that type of behavior? Oh, this is it. Paul Levitz. You see his name all over the world. But I guess he was the publisher of DC Comics at the time. So I guess whoever is the publisher of DC Comics is the publisher of MAD. I've never actually looked into that. I believe that to be true, but I should check one of the newer issues, see whose name is on it. Would it be Jim Lee? I don't know. MAD looks at what's on the back of your ticket. All right. Artist Ray Alma, a name I've never heard before. Writers Desmond Delvin and Butch D'Ambrosio. I'm thinking of Ambrosia. Eggplant. All right. So here we go. The Bad Boy Concert Tour featuring Puff Daddy. Let's see how this is aged. By the 7th or 8th time, you are asked to throw your hands in the air, and wave them like you just don't care. It is acceptable for a ticket holder to truly not care. If you are crushed to death due to the event being oversold, rest assured that that's just like the last time Puffy's incompetent promotion killed fans. Your family will receive a couple of $1,000 after a decade of litigation. That's something I don't remember. Did some fans at a Puff Daddy concert die? By purchasing this ticket holder agrees that he will never forget Biggie. To assist in ticket holder never forgetting Biggie, there will be no fewer than 600 to 700 mentions or video clips of Biggie during tonight's shows. Bad Boy Productions apologizes for not mentioning Biggie Smalls anywhere in the last 3 sentences. Biggie Smalls, Biggie Smalls, Biggie Smalls. Oh no, he's going to appear. If you say Biggie Smalls into a mirror, he'll appear. And I just did that. God dang it. Ringo and his all-star band, Lilith Fair. I mean, this is really, this in itself is such a cool time capsule. I mean, except, movie theaters, those are still around for now. WCW Nitro. I love WCW. You would get some folks from, wait a second. You're not supposed to be awake? All right, so moving on. Oh, even more. We got Elton John, Rosie O'Donnell. These are some pretty cool caricatures. It's like nice caricatures of celebrities, and then very nice just characterization with random faces. I like it. Okay, so, oh, Mad Look at Funerals. How macabre. All right, so I like this one. I'm gonna zoom in. Look at that. We're sorry, Mrs. Spaghetti. You got gunned down. Oh, this is what it's gonna be like. This is what she's imagining, a traditional funeral. But no. Burying him in concrete. Wait, were they the ones that shot him? I thought they only did that with their people who have wronged them. I mean, like, it's, I love a mad look at, but it is one of those things that's hard to do commentary on. Because of, you know, it's all visual. Like, what am I gonna, I mean, except say the same thing that I always say, which is, this dude's the best. He's the best at just visual storytelling. Yeah. Monroe and the Candy. And look at this, the start of one. I think I made it clear how much I love Monroe. And I mean, the artist here is just fantastic. Bill Ray, for those of you who don't know, Bill Ray was involved with Ren and Stimpy. I forget exactly the level of involvement in it, but he has this like really awesome art style where things are just, I mean, even the people who are meant to be attractive still have like this level of grotesqueness to them. And it's kind of hard to explain, right? Like, this guy is this big, strong dude, you know, wide shoulder, square jaw. But there's something like disgusting about him, right? Like this weird, dirty, old, you know, I don't know. And then there are people like this who are meant to be disgusting. And of course, it's perfect. Okay. You know, here we have some jokes about kidnapping. Hi, my name is Mr. Riken, and I don't have a wallet with me. Why don't you jump in the car and we can go get it? Where is it? At my house, in my pants. Hop in, we'll go over there. I don't think that's such a good idea. It's a shame. I could teach you a special way to wash yourself. God. That's awful. But yeah, Bill Ray is, he's a genius, I think, an artistic genius. And his website, you can see that too, because he does these beautiful oil paintings now. So here we have Monroe's mom, just like, it's almost like, it's kind of a tragic story, the story of his mom, because, you know, she's just on a downward spiral after she left his dad. Look at this. Here is the card. 12 issues for $24. I wonder if I could send this in. What does it say? Will supplies last or something? Free gift. Subscribers exclusive. I'm going to send that in just for a laugh. We'll see what happens. That's what, yeah, listen, if you think that's insane, it might be. But my mom, I recently, something showed up to my house. Family handyman showed up to my house. I'm talking to my mom. I'm like, gosh, it's so weird. This thing showed up. She goes, oh, it came. Great. I said, why'd you get me the subscription? She said, I found an old subscription card in a really old magazine, and I just sent it in to see if they would honor it. And apparently they do. So we'll see. I'm going to send this in. I'll report back what happens. Slim Dish Network. Stop worrying about the high cost of cable TV and start worrying about the high cost of satellite dish antenna. Nicotine at Night, Fox Famine Channel, TLC, The Leaning Channel, Headline Nudes, M&M TV, C-SPAM and C-SPAM 2, TNA. Here we go. Here's old Crouper. Old Cooper. That's what I meant, not Crouper. Crouper is somebody who spreads the croup. He's a Crouper. This is like, I don't know how long he started this, but he used aerosol cans, like just spray paint. I don't know if it's spray paint. Maybe it's like an airbrush or something, but it's clear. It's like a propellant that he's using. And it was, I think, a really cool way of doing it, of distinguishing himself from the old ways. And this one is, I mean, he had some kind of clever ideas. Like this one, look at aerosol acid. But how does it stay in the can? So it burns through the metal door. Oh, ooh, he gets zapped. He sprays some. Oh no. Like that's pretty gruesome. that is not kind of old school. Holy cow. I love this art right here. Who did this? Rick Geary. Oh my goodness. End of the Millennium War Awards. The best that civilization has to offer. Oh my goodness, yes. I'm sorry. I guess it took me a moment to process what this exactly was. End of the year, or end of the Millennium War Awards. Okay, so war songs. The award for war songs. Second World War from 1939 to 1945. I mean, think about it. Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy? Come on. You can't do better than that. Deference and Etiquette, The War of the Roses from 1455 to 1485. Ooh, horsemanship, U.S. Civil War. That's very interesting. I wonder what the Mongolian people would, or did that predate this millennium? Because they were supposed to be just like unreal horsemen. Hairstyling, War of 1812. Look at this face. I love this. I love these heavy black lines. It's just, this is perfect. I love this art so much. Explosions, the Vietnam War. Yeah, I think you got to give it to him. Though I would say World War II kind of, they dropped some pretty great hits. Acrobats and Muscle Tone, the Peloponnesian War, absolutely. Maps and Charts, the 100 Years' War. Okay. Posturing and Sloganeering, Spanish-American War. All right. Ribbons and Medals, the Napoleonic Wars. You know what's interesting? Maybe it's not, but I'm going to say it anyway. So I was in the Navy, and I went to the Ukraine at the 60th anniversary of the end of the war in Europe. So VE Day. 60th anniversary is a big deal. All sorts of parades. We were the first U.S. ship to be in the Ukraine in a long, long time. So we were wandering around. There were these dudes, these old Russian World War II vets who had medals like this. Their jackets looked like that. And one of the things that I learned later is that what the Russians did that's different than what the U.S. does, and I'm pretty sure the British, is that they would give awards for specific battles. So you could imagine if you survived like Leningrad, you would get a medal for that. Or maybe it's Stalingrad, which is that was the really bad one. You would get a medal for that battle, whereas we have medals for entire campaigns or wars. Anyway. Locations, American Revolution. Yeah, I would say that we do have the best. Well, wait, where's World War II in that? Oh, I'm beginning to really push back. I want this to be updated. Locations, American Revolution. Costuming, the 30 Years' War. Makeup and prosthetics, What a horribly sad way to end. Oh my gosh. Who is that? Rick Geary. I'm writing this name down. This guy, I want to look up other stuff by him. Rick Geary. I love that though. That was like, his art style is just beautiful. So the positive side of the Y2K problem. One of my favorite artists, Paul Coker Jr. Your VCR will no longer be able to record TV shows and movies, keeping you from adding any more tapes to the 936,342 unwatched videos that already clutter up your home. Nobody knows about that anymore. You finally have a legitimate excuse for why, after 7 years of trying, you still can't program your VCR. Again, that's really hard. With their wacko web pages working, racist scuzzbuckets and paranoid conspiracy theory loonies will be forced to go back to the much less effective methods of handing out smudgy mimeographed pamphlets and ranting on street corners. Well, that shows them. Oh my God. These people will, again, have to leave their homes to do their dirty work, increasing their chances of getting caught and having their asses kicked in. Yeah. Oh, gosh. That's just depressing. I feel, when I was a younger person, I would probably yuck it up a lot at that. And, as you get older, there's certain things that as you get older, things become unfunny as you actually learn about like the tragic nature of them. So I don't know. Goodness me. Absentee excuse notes through history. Artist Mort Drucker. Writer Charlie Richards. Person who is not present is absent. My son was not present, therefore my son was absent. Socrates. Thanks, Socrates. A bright-eyed youngster went to his father and said, I am too sick to attend class. When the father checked his forehead and found that it was indeed warm, the father said, very well, stay home today, but learn twice as much tomorrow. Confucius. I'm very much enjoying these. Let's see. From Jean-Paul Sartre. I don't know how to speak French. Our daughter wasn't in class yesterday. What does it really matter, ultimately? Attaboy. My son, whose face was covered with oozing, festering boils that seemed to well up upon the surface of his skin from the very bowels of hell itself, was not well enough to attend class. Stephen King. That's there he is, little Joe Hill there following Dad around. Please excuse William Jefferson Clinton from class today. I was very, very sick. I really was. My mother. Oh my gosh. That is classic. I love that. Clues, your high school's football team really sucks. This is listen, I gotta say, I am not misremembering this time as a great period in Mad Magazine. You know what bothers me about this now is that it's almost like that the clip art style text that you could do in Microsoft Word. If you're old enough, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They would have like these sort of like stylized things you could fill it in and would do like a drop shadow or stuff like that. And yeah, now it bothers me to see that. They shoot horses' asses, don't they? Captain, you lost 5 men this week on your firing squad. See, we're completely baffled. We don't know how to stop it. This is serious. I have an execution today. See if you can figure out how this is happening. Do you want a blindfold? See. Very well, send in the blindfold man. Ready? Aim. Oh my goodness. I was not expecting that. I was expecting them to like blindfold the people shooting. Again, this is one of those things that's really hard to go over in these videos because it takes so much time. But these magazine spoofs within the book are amazing. So this is basically community classes. And so punishing yourself through self-mutilation. Oh my goodness. Intro to celebrity stalking. Frivolous lawsuits, your key to financial freedom. Ooh, look at, there's a second one. I am going to send those in. Cornering him into proposing marriage with Dr. Patricia Swan. Scenes of Americana yesterday and today. These are always very fun. Artist George Woodbridge. Writer Mike Snyder. Sis and her beau off to the prom. Sis and the father of her baby off to the prom. Yesterday, oops, mom catches dad sneaking a peek. Today, oops, mom catches dad having sex again with that divorcee from Tampa. Oh my God. Yesterday, Junior gets his first Boy Scout merit badge. Today, Junior gets his first suspended sentence with probation. I think people have kind of done this too with, I think Mad Magazine has done it with sort of doing the style of, see, my mind is slow. But the guy who would do things for the Times, I think it was, he was a painter. He would paint classic American scenes. You're probably yelling it at me right now as you watch the video, but it's still not coming to me. Yesterday, teacher's pet. Today, teacher's illegal underage lover. Hey, she died recently. And she was still with the middle school boy that she had relations with. Yeah. That's all. That's all I have to say. Sean Puffy Combs, artist, and Andre Leroy Brown. Writer Mike Snyder. It's kind of an interesting caricature style. I'm not sure if I like it. I like this. I like the way he draws Puffy. But then there's like other things. Oh, Donald Trump. How many issues of Mad Magazine is Donald Trump not in? I think that's got to be, Doug Guilford. Your next thing. Doug Guilford currently is archiving or like cataloging all of the margin cartoons. I think what he has to do next is catalog the appearances of Donald Trump in issues. I think that would be a very good thing to do. Monty Wolverton. So this is Basil Wolverton's son. And you can obviously see the influence that his father had on his art style. And he does it well. I mean, he's like got this, I know I use the word a lot, but grotesque style of like drawing the faces, like these sort of very bizarre features. Yeah. Other Y2K problems guaranteed to make your life miserable. Drug company 800 numbers info lines will be overwhelmed with idiot callers wanting to know if their time-release medication has been adjusted for the century turnover. Okay, goodbye, Burke. Moronica's Closet. What is that? Is this like a Victoria's Secret thing? There's a show that's in the Nielsen top 10 that we defy you to find anyone who's actually... Let me try that again. There's a show that's in the Nielsen top 10 that we defy you to find anyone who actually watches. It stars Kirstie Alley and Ron Silver. Well, at least it did. Here's Moronica's Closet. Again, one of the things about doing a monthly magazine is, or like even, I guess more of doing a satire magazine is like, what will actually age well? What will stay in the collective memory of a nation long enough to be humorous? And you don't know. There's no way to know. Celebrity cost of death, betting odds. Our team of crack odds makers gives you the latest Vegas line on how one of today's biggest stars will be living la rigor mortis. This month's future candidate to say adios muchachos. Artist Herman Mejia. Writer Mike Snyder. Goodness me. If you don't know, Ricky Martin was in Menudo as a child. He was a singer. And then he created one of like the most popular songs of the 90s, Livin' La Vida Loca. Cause of death, devastating hit, swiveling stage injury, 2-1. Fatal fall after accidentally flashing swoon-inducing smile at self in mirror, trips over cable during taping of the next year's VH1 Where Are They Now special, acute intestinal blockage from excessively tight pants, double pneumonia from taking clothes off and dancing in the rain, poisoned in act of jealous rage by other ex-Menudo members now working as short order cooks. Dun dun dun. Look at me. See? See how that's not folded at all? Because I'm one of those weirdos. And you're not going to find out what it folds out into because we have to look at this Tom Bunk art. A great splatter effect. Yeah, this guy really puts himself into his art. I love it, Tom Bunk. So that wraps up MAD, now Y2K compliant, number 388. I forgot to say that this costs $2.95, which is indeed cheap. I cannot believe that I forgot that, but I guess I remembered it. But thank you for sending me this request. If you have any requests, let me know, and I'll make sure to put them in. You know what? Anyway, with that, toodaloo.